Hey everyone, it's Vice. Welcome back to Making Wrestling Work. We're peeling back the curtain, taking a look at the industry one more time. And today we have somebody who has gone around and taken gold all for himself, sometimes sharing it. We'll get into that. Please help me welcome CLAS. CLAS, how you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm always doing great. It's hard to have a bad day in my life. So thanks for having me, man. We've been talking about this. Feels like for a long time. So I'm glad we finally were able to connect and make it work. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. I finally got this going. I've had some interviews here, trying to get back into it. And You're somebody, you and your friend, Devin Reno, of course, your colleague and associate in wrestling crime.
Yeah.
I'll get to him eventually.
Yeah.
But you're a person that has thrived in this industry. What got you into the industry? You're natively from Arizona. Is that right?
No, actually natively from Montana. I've been in Arizona for about 10 years now. So, let me tell you the story about how I got into it. It's kind of a roundabout, fun way. I don't know if anyone has like a direct access into the business, so usually colorful stories. But I was always a wrestling fan growing up. I was loved it, absolutely loved it, watched it all the time, but I had no idea about how one becomes a professional wrestler. It didn't even enter my brain that you could research that, because when I was growing up, the internet was starting to become a thing. It's not what it is today, where you can look anything up at within 5 seconds. So I played sports all through elementary, middle school, high school, played baseball in college. And where I went to college for most of my undergrad was a school in Nebraska. And all the friends that I made and lived with throughout college happened to be huge wrestling fans. And so at one point, one of my boys was like, "Do you want to go to this wrestling camp with me?" I was like, "Of course. What do you mean? What is it?" And so he found this camp. We drove 7.5 hours from the middle of Nebraska to Eldon, Missouri. And if anyone listening knows whose school is famously in Eldon, Missouri, they'll know who I'm talking about. For those who don't, it was Harley Race's school. And so he used to do, I don't know if they still do it, but for every year they used to do this week-long camp where they'd bring in legends, they'd bring in people from Pro Wrestling Noah, All Japan, all these people would come through for the week, and guys who were in the business would train, get looks, and get critiques from people. And then they always had a spot for guys like us who had no wrestling experience whatsoever. And so we went there, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and we did all the bumps, we did all the rolls, and we watched a lot, we learned a lot, we did more bumps, more rolls, and beat the absolute crap out of our bodies for a week and could barely walk. And yet I was like, this is the best thing ever. I can actually do this. There's people that train people to do this. This is great. But that was the closest school to where I was living at the time. And so when I moved to Arizona for grad school, and I thought, surely there's going to be a wrestling school in Phoenix. It's one of the biggest cities in the country. I looked it up. There was. And then it was kind of a decision of, okay, I'm in this doctorate program. I don't have a lot of time, but this is something I've always wanted to do. And now I have the opportunity to do it. I have to do it, because it's really easy for you to say, I'll do it when I'm done with school. And then whoops, it never comes back. But if I had this opportunity now and I turned 40 and never tried it, I'm going to absolutely hate myself and regret that. So let me just go down there, tell them my situation, and see what happens. And so I told them that, at that time, school was going to be the priority because I needed to graduate. It was a big program. And then I made time for it. I took to it. And here I am about 9 years later.
Yeah, I said Arizona. I actually knew you were from Montana. You told me that, but you spent so much time in Arizona.
Yeah.
That was my thought process.
Yeah.
And Arizona, you put in a lot of work when it comes to the pro wrestling industry. I mean, well, hang on. Let me look at my list here, okay? Because you have what is it? FSW Nevada State Championship. Is that right?
I've had that. Yep, I won that.
The PCW Arizona Heavyweight Championship, top dog there, and then tag gold across the way. Rocky Mountain Pro, FSW, AWF, PCW Arizona, WCPW CCW tag team champions, I believe. And of course, the DCCW tag team championships here. You've done a lot in the tag team division. Do you consider yourself a tag team specialist? Is that a favorite? The preference what is it? Singles or tag? Which do you like better?
Yeah, I really love the tag wrestling component of professional wrestling. It's not something that I necessarily got into wrestling going like I want to be a tag team wrestler. It's something that happened. Like you mentioned the EWF tag team championships. Man, I won that. I won those my first year in with a different partner at the time. And that was my introduction to tag team wrestling. At that time, I liked it because I was put with someone who had a lot of experience and was more comfortable. And I was like 5 or 6 months in at that point, like greener than grass, And so I was able to like learn, see how he communicated, see how he moved and how his emotions were in the ring. So I just learned a lot of stuff from him. And so that made me appreciate it. But then when Devin and I got put together, that was kind of my reintroduction to tag team wrestling. And since then, I've learned like how complex it is, how intricate it is, how many moving pieces there are, and how you can really tell a very unique and compelling story with the 5 people that are involved, right? The 2 on one team, 2 on the other team, and the referee. And so I have become, I don't want to say a tag team specialist because my mindset is just I'll never know enough, no matter how much I know. And so I never want to consider myself a specialist. But I think that that's definitely what my passion lies within right now. And Devin and I are doing so well. And as you listed off a number of our accomplishments, it sounds so good. We're doing well with it, and we're still growing, and we're still getting better every single time we go out there. And so definitely prefer the tag team at this point.
You have a doctorate in psychology.
Yeah.
Like, of course, that can help out in personal life, but does that help out in the wrestling industry? I mean, you have character work, you have work in ring, against somebody else. There's so many aspects of psychology in the industry. Do you utilize that in wrestling?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's kind of a couple of different ways it's been really helpful. So you talked about like the psychology and stuff inside the ring. Having a good beat on how people react to things and understanding and knowing what they might be feeling or what might cause people to feel a certain way, that I think gives me a better understanding of how to place what where and why to place what where, if that makes sense. So I know that this will likely give them this reaction. And I think I had an understanding of that maybe a little bit earlier than others. And then from just like a professional standpoint, I think this is almost as important, if not more important, is having a doctorate degree and being a doctor in psychology. That's a very professional academic setting. And so the way that you communicate with one another is obviously very professional. And so I was able to take like that professional setting that I work within and the people that I communicate with and bring that to wrestling. I think that's something that not a lot of people have or understand how to do. And so what I'm really talking about is how to communicate with people backstage and how to communicate with promoters and how to communicate, like reaching out to people and sending them your stuff, and having just normal conversations with people. I think that goes a long way, because if you have this person who maybe is great in the ring or, is really exciting or up and coming, but they're really difficult to communicate with, they're not reliable, and you can't really just trust them to like send in promo shots or complete a promo, then you're not going to use them, right? So if this is kind of what I try to bring and I've always brought to the table from day one, which I think you can certainly develop that over time, but I think a lot of people just don't come in with that. And that's one area I was fortunate to have the experience with and bring that in and use it to my benefit for sure.
It's not just the mental capacity. You are in incredible physical shape. Does that come with a doctorate degree? No, I'm kidding.
Maybe it should. You're
a guy that shows up in great physical shape, and a lot of wrestlers will wear, lots of gear, tights, pants, long boots, vests, even. You go in just simple, good old fashioned traditional wrestling gear.
Yeah.
And you look amazing.
Thank you.
Little soaked, little sweaty.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to touch that one. But you keep in great physical shape. The physical aspect is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Is there a trick to that? Do you keep in your mind on something that you focus on to make sure you're always ring ready?
Yeah, it's so like kind of where this need to stay in good physical shape comes from. First of all, is that was my concept of what a wrestler is, right? Someone who looks like a wrestler, acts like a wrestler, talks like a wrestler, and wrestles like a wrestler, you know? Because when I grew up, it was the height of the Attitude Era is when I started watching, and even the small guys are big. And then the big guys are big. And so, like, I just remember as the Attitude Era kind of phased out and some of the smaller guys got in, and me as a little kid was like, this doesn't make sense. I'm used to the giants. I'm used to the, like, bodybuilder, like, type people. And so in my head, it's just like, this is part of being a wrestler, is being as invested in the best shape you possibly can. So that's kind of where it comes from. But this is Devin and I always talk about this. We're very good friends with Hammerstone. We both trained and or train with him on a regular basis. If you're in the wrestling industry, you know who Hammerstone is. You know how he looks, and so we always just laugh. Like, no matter how good a shape that two of us are going to get in, we're never going to be in as good a shape as Hammerstone. And so there's always that, like, he's like, quote unquote, the carrot that's being dangled in front of us that we'll always chase but never be happy. And so it just keeps us motivated and keeps us going, knowing that, hey, we're never going to be good enough, but we can always get better. And so what helps is just, this is part of being a wrestler, is being as big as possible, being in the best shape possible. And we're never going to be satisfied with it. So it's just kind of like, and I guess that goes back to discipline too, right? Like, it's easy to take time off of the gym when you're sick. It's easy to take time off the gym when you have a show that day and when you have to drive 6 hours to Albuquerque, New Mexico. But guess what? Even when we leave at 8:30 in the morning, we're at the gym at 6 before the drive to Albuquerque, New Mexico, or wherever it is we're going. So, like, it's just, we put this in our mind that we are going to do this. This is how we are going to live our life, and this is how we're going to be as wrestlers. And then it becomes easy. You just have to figure out how to make it work at that point, because it's already in there and you're doing it. The question is just how and when.
You mentioned some history there. Did you have some favorites in wrestling growing up? Maybe some inspirations that you utilize now? The way you come out of the ring, you have classic wrestlers, like, I say classic, historical wrestlers, we'll say.
There you go.
Hulk Hogan went out just same gear, same pretty much gear as you have. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes. Do you have any inspiration that you pull to try to utilize in the ring today, maybe from childhood? Yeah,
Ric Flair was a big influence. Not when I was like a kid watching, because I didn't grow up during his heyday during the 80s and the early 90s. I wasn't watching, but he's someone I've gone back and studied a lot. And I think the first time I wrestled with you guys, which has been a year and a half ago now, I wore my robe, and the robe was just about done at that point. But I used to come out, and it's this beautiful robe. It's got feathers. It's got gold sparkles all over. It says my name big across the back. So that was definitely a nod to Ric Flair. And he's someone I think is certainly one of, if not the best of all time. And so someone I pulled from a lot. I also really love Rick Rude. I love Mr. Perfect. But my favorite growing up was definitely The Rock. I could not get enough of The Rock, for sure.
Of course it was The Rock.
Yeah. So, not like, I guess some things I can draw from him in the ring, but it really, the things I appreciate in the wrestling I gravitate towards right now anyways tends to be very heavily based in the 80s. So, like, I watch a lot of Ric Flair. I watch a lot of Rick Rude. Devin and I watch a ton of the Midnight Express, the Fantastics, the Rock and Roll Express. Like, that's the stuff that I'm watching now. And so it's only natural that, there's going to be some flavors of that, whether it's conscious or unconscious, mixed in with my presentation in the ring.
Oh wait, the CLAS elbow, that comes from that, right? Like just that drawing out elbow you do in the middle of the ring. That's where that comes from, right?
That's right. And all eyes are on me. I just need to take my time and slow everything down and make sure everyone has time to get their cameras ready and watch me do that beautiful elbow drop. But yeah, that's the whole thing, is like, right, taking your time, not rushing into anything. And there's psychology in that too. If I could rush through it, it would still look pretty. But because I take so much damn time, some people might find it obnoxious. I think it makes sense to just get everyone's eyes on me and make sure they're watching when I want them to, you know.
The obnoxious ways goes into that character development, which you've experienced both sides of that coin, I believe, both the baby face and the heel side. First of all, do you have a favorite?
So I've been a baby face one match in my entire career, and that was in Mexico, oddly enough.
Just one?
One match.
It?
That's it. Yep. I have always come out as myself. I've always come out trying to be the, inspiration as a doctor and as a jacked and tan professional wrestler should be. And yet I get booed. They hate me. They hate Devin and I. Devin is an incredible human being, a very intelligent human being. I'm a doctor. We're both jacked and tan. We're all greased up, looking great, and yet everyone just boos the hell out of us. And now this is from like match number 1. That was the case. I walked out scared, nervous, anxious, boos, and it hasn't stopped. And I don't get it. That's something I need to look in the mirror and talk a little bit more about. But so to answer your question, that one match where I was very well cheered in Mexico was pretty cool. But I guess I just got to stick with what I know, right?
Maybe people just hate seeing what they see as perfection. The built guy, tanned, great smile, which you do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna slow down there. But no, it's a wrestling industry loves to see the underdog come out on top. That's, I mean, in my mind, that's just the typical wrestling fan. They want to see the underdog. You come out, you look jacked, you look tan, you're smiling, you're egotistical. No, we want him to lose because perfect sucks, right?
Yeah, that must suck that we hardly ever lose. Basically, never lose. So you're just rooting for losers. Why not jump over the window here with the Pretty City Express?
I mean, that also goes to the character winning as a heel. There's a lot that goes into work as a heel, but you're not a terrible person. You are actually a remarkably kind, intelligent person. But you love being a heel. You're so good at it. How do you change into that when it comes showtime?
Well, like I said, it's not that I'm trying to be a heel or I'm trying to be a baby face on that one eventful evening.
Right.
It's more so like I look at this. There's 2 ways I look at it. One, it's a business, right? It's something I love doing, but it's also a business, and so I kind of treat it as I do another position, say. And then number 2, it's a business that also happens to be an athletic competition. And so I was an athlete my entire life. I started ski racing when I was like 3 or 4 years old. I played baseball all the way through into college. I played football all the way through. I played basketball. I wrestled. I did track. I had all of this experience in athletics and playing sports. And so I know like the intensity it takes to be successful, both on and off the field. And so this is, to me, an extension of that in a lot of ways. And one of those is like, you have to kind of get yourself, in my opinion, you have to get yourself in like the right mental state. And so I have a routine that I follow that kind of like, it's like once the dominoes start falling of my routine, then it's like I get locked in, I get fired up, I get intense, and I get that look in my eye where it's time to kick some butt, and get out there and get after it. And so that's the mentality I go out no matter what I'm doing and no matter what situation I'm in, because that's what it takes to be a high level athlete is getting your mind right. That's a huge, huge part of it. And for me, that's what I do. And that's how I get there.
So behind the curtain, before you actually come through with the music, that butterflies in your stomach thing, it doesn't always hit, as if you're shifting character like some people do. You just amp yourself up and lean into it. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, this is, it's not that exciting of an answer. It's really just like, I'm about to go jump on the field for the state championship football game. You'd have butterflies. You'd be fired up. But before that, you would be on the bus driving to the school. You would be in the locker room, putting your cleats on, putting your pads on, putting your helmet on, getting ready, wrist tape, all this. Then you go out and warm up. Then you go back to the locker room for the final pregame, and then you boom go out. Right? There was, in all sports, there's a step by step like strategy you follow, and you don't. Again, I'm speaking just for myself, but I don't go into like this different persona or different personality. It's just like, I'm ready to go, for lack of a better term, kill somebody. Not actually, but I'm ready to go,
actually,
like beat the crap out of somebody. And you have to get in a certain mental state to do that. And so what if I smile when I'm doing that? I love doing it. I'm going to beat you up and I'm going to smile. And that's just a little bit of that psychological edge that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, no like shift in I'm a new person, or some people have like the dual personality or like the alternative identity or anything like that. It's just like, no, I get myself hyped up and now I'm ready to, take some heads.
But at the same time, you put in a lot of work beforehand, so that kind of equals out there, including the travel. Is the travel something that's rough on you, going from place to place, especially with, your personal life, day job, etc.? Is that something that really takes its toll?
Yeah, good question. It's a lot. And Devin and I were just talking about this as we were on the road, I think last weekend, driving to LA. It's like, to us, it seems normal now at this point. But when you describe your schedule, or when I describe my schedule to anyone who's not in the wrestling business, their jaw just like keeps dropping lower and lower and lower. And they're like, what's wrong with you? Why do you do this? That's insane. And it's like, well, yeah, I guess when you're outside of the wrestling bubble, it sounds a little insane, but it's very, very enjoyable for so many different reasons. So as far as like the work life, I'm thankfully in a position. I mean, who would have guessed it? When you're a doctor, you have a little bit of control over your schedule. One of the perks. But I have myself set up to where I work Monday through Thursday, and so I'm off every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that makes travel pretty doable for most of the time. Got lots of leave built up, so I can take that if needed. But personal life is where it certainly gets a little bit more tricky. Like, I'm in a relationship with someone, and we've been dating for a little over 3 years now. And at the very beginning, I was like, second date, I was like, look, this is what my life looks like. If you don't want me part of that, no hard feelings. I get that. It's insane. But if you do, these are the things you're going to have to accept. And I know that's asking a lot. I know it's selfish, but this is what I'm doing. This is like the most important thing in my life. And I will give you everything I can outside of that. But this is going to take this is what I'm going to have to prioritize in a lot of ways. And so thankfully, 3 years later, she's great. She's the best. We're doing great. And she's very understanding and supportive of that. But there's bumps along the road, obviously, with that. And then there's, every once in a while, it's like, can't go play golf this weekend, or can't go for the family reunion this time, or can't go to someone's wedding sometimes. Like, all of those things have been true before. But thankfully, I'm very, very fortunate to have a great support system. And all of my close friends, whether they live here or not, are very supportive of this. And so they're very understanding. It just comes down to communication. I'm just trying to be upfront as I can with people, and that has been received well. So I'm going to say I'm lucky, and also I think communicating has been helpful, and just having that open communication with whoever it is helps, because it's definitely challenging. It's definitely a lot.
Yeah, it takes a special kind of insanity to work in the professional wrestling industry. Even behind the scenes, like myself, it's like it's so much time.
Yeah.
You want to be around me, you gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
You have a very unique ring name, CLAS. So it's Christopher Landon Anthony Streeter. This is your shoot name, is it not?
Nailed it.
I want to draw attention to that, because did CLAS just come from wrestling? Did you have that before?
Can you elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by the question?
So did you call yourself CLAS as like some random nickname before you started in the industry as a pro wrestler?
Gotcha. Well, it doesn't make sense, right? Because there's only one S. It like so not really, but it's something like so. Here's how I kind of like thought of it and kind of came up with. Oh my God, that's CLAS. That works perfectly. So when I started wrestling, I was like a year or two into grad school. And I was working on part of the grad school thing in the program I was at is you have to do a dissertation, which is like a massive 3-year project. And you can either publish it or not, but it's like one of those, peer-reviewed articles, essentially, that you have to do in a research study and stuff. And so the title for my dissertation was an acronym. And then one day it just clicked. And I was like, oh, CLAS. Oh, I can use that name. That's perfect. That's perfect. And then it's like, yeah, I'm about to be a doctor. I'm good looking. I'm in shape. I have a fancy haircut. Like all these, I live in Scottsdale. Like all these things are just lining up. Like, oh, this is perfect. This is too perfect. Which I mean, I can't say I'm surprised that it all worked out that well. But it really did. The stars aligned, and there it was.
You have the perfect name to just stay with you wherever you go, even if you get signed to a company where you need to develop this persona. No, the name is yours because it's your name.
Yeah,
they can't take it from you. So that's name security. That's merch security.
Yeah.
It will never change. And speaking of, and on that note, the fan interaction, you have much different interaction with fans outside of the ring, don't you? How does that work? I'm actually curious.
Yeah, so there's a couple different areas where we'll run into fans, and there's certainly during the entrance, during the match, they're always talking and they're always having things to say. And I'm sure you've seen it at Duke City there. A couple people have whiteboards where they write little messages to you throughout the match. So there's different things like that, and those interactions are certainly going to be a little more, what do I want to say? A little more charged, a little more intense, because we're out there, we're ready to kick some butt, and they're out there for some reason, again, mad at us. So they're going to be a little more charged in those interactions. But then it's like at the merch table, things are calmed down. We're not in that state yet. And so sometimes people have stuff to say to us. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're thankful for, us performing and wrestling in front of them and putting on a good show and stuff like that. It's really the kids you got to watch out for, man. Some of these kids out here have potty mouths you wouldn't believe. And then it's like, I remember one of the first matches I had, this is early in my first year. And I'm telling this story because it's been consistent throughout my time in wrestling. There's like a 6 or 7-year-old kid just screaming at me, flipping me the double bird, over a guardrail. And I'm like, where are your parents? And I look up and the parents are right over the top of them doing the same thing. It's like, oh, okay, this is what we're dealing with now. Great. All right. So, the kids are what you got to watch out for, man. They're nasty. And then the parents are there supporting them. But this is a little bit of a tangent. This is just going to be it's one of the things I also appreciate about pro wrestling, because where else can everyone get very involved in talking crap to the wrestlers and not get in trouble? It's part of the show. So, that's a very, I think, awesome and unique part about pro wrestling.
Wrestling fans have about as much insanity as we do. They will be talking crap and cussing at you, even want to throw things at you in the ring, and then later on they'll go get their picture with you, and buy your shirt. It's like, okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna give you a $10 upcharge because you flipped me off. No,
yeah, but for real, do you remember the first show at the Rio Rancho when Devin and I got assaulted by 1,000 chili peppers?
Yes, I do.
Oh man, yeah, that was insane. There's a clip of me. So we wrestled Sky High, won, shocker. There's a clip. I pick my head up and one just boom right across my face, and you just see rage coming from my eyes. It's in the match episode that was posted to YouTube, but I saved that clip because it makes me laugh now. But in the moment, man, I wanted to exterminate all chili peppers in the history of the world after that.
If I can find it, I'm going to post it here. Plug it here. Wrestling fans can go nuts. Just folks got to remember, do and say whatever you want. Just keep your hands to yourself.
That's true.
Have you ever run into one of those moments where a fan just does not keep their hands to themselves and then something's got to happen?
Yeah, there's been a couple close calls recently. The one that comes to mind is we were doing a show out in Nevada last Christmas. So it was like the week before Christmas or something. And there was like a Santa Claus. It was a Christmas show, right? So it was kind of a spot show at a fair sort of deal. And I came out, Devin and I came out. He went one way, I went a different way. And this fan was just like, just on it, just talking crap. And I started goading him on. I was like, all right, yeah, come on. And so I started goading him on. And then, like I said, it was a Christmas show, which means there were Santas there. What does Santa eat?
Oh boy.
Milk and cookies, right? So per wrestling show, somehow, some way, there was a 3/4 full carton of milk by the ring. And the guy got up out of his seat. There's no security. So I was like, oh, I created this situation and now I have to deal with it. Great. So he's a bigger boy, so he's not moving too quick, but moving quick enough. And so I see the milk, I grab the milk, I dump the milk on him, and then I kind of scoot away, and that was kind of it. And then by that time, some people had come out and got him back to his seat. But that was kind of one of the closer ones that I've gotten into that comes to recent memory.
And going into memories, you've had many matches in your career. I believe your start was around, forgive me if I have this wrong, around 2017. Does that sound about right?
It was January of 2017. I don't remember the exact date, but like early January. Yeah.
So about 8 years, almost 9 years, something like that. And you have to have one or two memorable matches that like stay with you forever. Do you have any? Do you have any in mind?
Yeah, let's see. The first one that comes to mind is, so I actually, I've been in Arizona for the past 10 years, but I also left for a year to do my residency up in Alaska. And I got into wrestling up there. Had some people here that connected me to some people there. One thing led to another. And I was wrestling pretty regularly up there, which was very cool. But I had a match with this guy, Jerry Bishop. It was in downtown Anchorage, in this really cool bar, the Willowa. And this was like the first show, from my knowledge, they'd run at this bar. And it was just one of those places where the fans are on top of you. Like it's basically like a lumberjack match at that point, because if you get thrown out of the ring, they're there. And we were the main event. He's someone I hadn't worked with yet, but really liked, really respected, and was really cool to me when I was up there. And we were the main event. He was the champion. And we did this really kind of basic but fun match and told a good story where I paid the ref off. Ref counted 3 when his foot was on the rope. I win the title. New ref comes out. Smokes me out of nowhere with a super kick. Built to it, smokes me out of nowhere with a super kick. 1, 2, 3. The place explodes. And it was just one of those where it like felt like a big deal for the time. The crowd was in it from the very beginning and loved it. And then the coolest part to me, and why I think this is memorable, is they started a wrestling school up there called 907. And now there's a promotion also called 907 that's doing really well. But because of that match, there were 3 people who joined the school because of that match alone, which was really cool to me. And I think a couple of them are still wrestling. So that to me tells me like, yes, what I heard was real. And that kind of validates it, that people, because of that, wanted to go start being a wrestler on their own. So that was pretty cool. And then Devin and I have been on a streak for the most part in the past like 6 months of having really, really good, really fun matches. There were 2 I'll just quickly talk about that. We were out in the Boston area in August. And so we wrestled for Wrestling Open, which is part of Beyond Wrestling. And we had 2 what we thought were really exceptional and different matches than what we typically have, with really strong talent. So those stick out as something we're proud of, because it was like we went out of our comfort zone, which is the Southwest, which is what we're trying to do. But we went to this pretty well-known place. We're on the card with like pretty well-known people, and everyone was good top to bottom, and then went out and delivered and did in a different way than we normally do. So those two stick out as well.
So do you have plans? Like you were talking 8-9 years into your career. Do you have plans to excel in that career? Like hopeful, maybe places you might want to go, places that hopefully are looking at you and say, "Oh, let's talk to them." What do you think?
Yeah, so like ultimately for both of us, we share this. The end of the day, our goal is to get to WWE. That's why we're doing this. That's why. Circling back to one of your earlier questions about staying in shape, that certainly helps of having that goal.
Absolutely.
So that's the end goal. That's what we want to do more than anything. And also there's a bunch of different places that are awesome to work. And so whether it's TNA, whether it's AEW, whether it's NWA in a bigger capacity, whether it's just wrestling in different states and different promotions all over the place, we just want to continue getting better. We try to make it a goal to do something different and or improve on something every single time we go out there. And so here's our thing is if we get to WWE, good, that's job accomplished. If we don't get anywhere, our biggest thing is we want to be able to look in the mirror when we're done and go, we gave it everything we got, we just didn't have it, or they weren't looking for us, or whatever. But we can't say that we didn't do everything within our control to make sure we got there. And we're certainly accomplishing that at this point. And so to shortly and simply answer your question, 100% we want to keep getting better and keep improving every single time to get on that big stage.
Well, aside from that big stage, maybe there's let's not say dream opponent, but maybe maybe some matches. Maybe you'd want to knock off your to-do list sometime within like Arizona, New Mexico, neighboring states, any state. Honestly, anybody in particular come to mind?
Yeah, there's a few people that come to mind. So first and foremost, the Midnight Heat are someone we would love to work with. They're, for my money, one of the, if not the best tag team on the independents right now.
Oh yeah,
them and us for sure. So that's someone we'd love to work with. And then we talked about this on Monday. Actually, the Hardys are still working. We would love to work with the Hardys at some point. That would be incredible. And then one other team that we're really looking forward to. It looks like we're going to end up wrestling them for oh my gosh, Winter Circle Pro Wrestling. Can't believe I forgot the name for a second. We're going to wrestle them in January. The Krusty Crew, really excited about them. We went in and beat them up a little bit the other day. So, but they're pissed off. They're ready for a rematch, and we're excited about that one. Dream opponents. We always got to throw these in there because they're important.
Why not? Throw it out.
Because I'm a big fan of the 80s wrestling, dream opponents would be Rock and Roll, the Fantastics, for sure. And if we could make it work, obviously the Midnight Express.
Yeah, obviously. Man, this has been good. You've got. It sounds like you're leaning more into that tag wrestling, even in the dream opponents.
For sure. That's like, so yeah, with my identity right now, it's like I'm a professional wrestler, but I'm a professional tag team wrestler. Like we don't do it. If we do a singles booking, it's a rare, weird thing. We're pretty much only taking tag team bookings right now. So in my head, that's part of my identity is I'm a tag team professional wrestler.
But if you break off from tag division, I mean, I've seen you wrestle in singles matches. You have zero problem with that. I mean, obviously you've held, like I said, the at least a couple of singles titles. PCW Arizona heavyweight champion. I mean, you were the poster boy for a while, and what a poster that was. So singles career could work out, maybe at the same time.
No, it's like here's the thing. I appreciate you saying that. I don't want to be someone who puts 50% in this basket and 50% in that basket. I'm here to put 100% in everything I'm doing. And I love the tag team. It's so much more complex, in my opinion, than singles. And I'm just full send on that right now. If something happens, sure. If we decide to split up down the line, sure. But that's 99.999% not going to happen. We're both committed and we're going to give it everything we've got at this point.
I love the fact that you said it that way, because a lot of wrestlers, I mean, a lot of people in any industry, they won't have as much dedication in a certain, in this case, division. They want more for themselves or something like that. But there's such purity in wanting to know what place, what spots do you want to be the best at, because unlike anything else in professional wrestling, so many divisions means there's not that one top spot. So everybody gets their spotlight, everybody gets their fandoms, and it sounds like you keep a focus on something that you want because that's what you want. I just wanted to give you a lot of credit on that. It takes a lot of professionalism in that, and professionalism is very important in this industry. And that's always something I appreciate. Sorry, I just wanted to, give you that one, because that's pretty good.
Devin and I work so well together, man. It's literally like he's the brother I never had, and he said this a couple weeks ago. So I'm not putting words in his mouth, but it's like I'm kind of like the big brother he never had either. And so it's just like we're so in sync with so many things. We're so locked in. We're so on the same page that it feels like, for lack of a better way to say it, traveling with a different version of yourself, which makes it so easy. And so it helps us just keep focused and locked in on everything that we want, which happens to be pretty much the same. So it makes it easy to stay focused.
Well, thank you so much, man. This was nice. Just sit and have a conversation with you. I might not cut this up at all. But of course, CLAS, you're all over the place. At the time of this recording here coming up, you've got shows coming up. But, what shows coming up in the next, let's say, few months can we find you at?
Yeah, so let's see. We'll be at, I'm trying to think of what date it is. Okay, the 15th, we have a show, PCW AZ. We'll be in Vegas on November 23rd. We'll be in Denver December 5th and 6th. We'll be in FSW again on December 20th. And then Pahrump, Nevada, going back to the Christmas show that I talked about shortly before, for December 21st for another Christmas show. So that'll take us through the end of the year. I think that's it. We just did Winter Circle Pro last weekend. We're still the champs there. No surprise. And that'll take us through the rest of the year.
Awesome. Yeah, folks, you can find CLAS as well as Devin Reno, as Pretty City Express, and maybe just CLAS in certain places like, Phoenix Championship Wrestling, Arizona, NWA New Mexico Duke City Championship Wrestling, and lots more. And CLAS, as far as social media, where can we find you at?
Yeah, so Instagram is at IamClass, Instagram or Twitter at IamClass, Facebook Christopher Landon Anthony Streeter, YouTube IamClass. Please hit any of those or all of them. And I've got I need to be better about posting content on YouTube. I've got a series up there now that I did, like a little 5-episode series called The Mental Side of Wrestling, from the perspective of a wrestler and psychologist. So that's hopefully interesting and got some rich information in there. And then normal stuff on Twitter, normal stuff on Facebook, normal stuff on Instagram. So I'll try to get better about the YouTube content.
We all suck at social media. I do. Maybe that's just me.
I appreciate that.
CLAS, thank you so much for joining us here. Appreciate you. I love working with you, and I'm sure we'll hear more from you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Folks, thanks for listening, and we will see everybody else around.